Hello, what's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, so you already know it is time to get back into Only Murders in the Building. And you know that you are coming down the road with me. We got the one, the only, I don't like it, but he's here anyway. This is not Uma. You know it was her. What's happening today, Phantom?
Yo, what is good, everyone? I am here to make sure that every single Uma theory is wrong. She didn't do it.
He's here to debunk them all. I'm here to fight the other side. I called it early and often. Uma did it. She was there all along. It was Uma all along. Oh, what's up? We got another coming. The realist, AK Lepto, is among us. What's happening tonight, AK?
I am here and I just want to show support for the mission that our brother BBM is on, okay? I'm not saying that she's completely innocent. She's sus, but I don't think she did this, man. Free Uma.
Oh, it was Uma all along. That is what they do. That is how they do it. And we're about to get into it and talk about it. Only Murders in the Building, Season 3, Episode 7. You already know this one was the CoBro. And as usual, I could not stop thinking of all week who killed Ben. And right up until I saw this episode, I had come full circle and I was back to the fact that nobody killed Ben. The elevator was broken, the door opened, and he fell down the shaft. I think the hanky he grabbed was Tobert, who, just like with a baby elephant, did nothing to try to save him and just sat back and recorded it all. Like, I don't know. It's like, if it was a murder, then I think that it was done with the fog machine. I think when Charles was trapped in the closet and he called it killer fog, that could have been a clue. And I mean, that is just an odd word of choice, odd choice of wording. Like, who says killer fog like that? And I mean, there was a lot of fog on that stage when Ben killed over, and he seemed fine until he walked out into the middle of it, and then he passed out, and then Charles ran out and yelled, "He's not breathing." So it could have been something in the fog that made him pass out. So I don't know. But honestly, I think I may have called it a few episodes back and reiterated the point of fact last week. The killer was someone who was at the theater when Ben was first thought dead, then also at the scene of the second murder, someone who has been noticeably absent the last couple of episodes, then very smoothly brought back in for the ending. Who could it be? Well, I'm certainly not talking about dear brother Dickie. No, nay. I am here to say that it was indeed Uma all along. Tell me I'm wrong, Phantom. Tell me I'm wrong.
You are wrong, damn it.
Wrong.
Like, if anything, if I was the person, like, you brought up one good point. Maybe Ben didn't die. It was like an accident. Toba tried to, like, grab the handkerchief. If anything, I would have went to the police, saying, hey, it was an accident. Try to, like, grab for the handkerchief. He fell through. We all knew the elevator was not working. Unless it will look like he would have gained for something if he actually would have, like, quote unquote killed him. But Tobert's one person still. Freaking homeboy's new girlfriend who freaking had him like lose a tooth is one. And the brother could be another person as well from guilt. Because the way all this episode was, it's like, okay, you dude seems sad, but you're just trying to stay face here. So people don't just, assume or like say, wait a minute, maybe it was him. Especially there was like another thing that we were kind of like guessing. Maybe it was him with all the fame and such, and then Ben took all the credit. We saw that with CoBro. It was actually him who created it.
Oh yeah,
that was one thing I hadn't thought about until right when they got to that scene and they were looking at the drawing. I said, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on." No, he didn't come. He came up with that when he was a child. No, the fuck he didn't. No. That was the brother that came up with that shit. And then they confirmed like 10 minutes into the scene. So yeah, I think he's still the number one sus for me. However, there are some things, and just I'll throw out some random tinfoil. What is the young man that Mabel was hanging out with this episode the most?
Theo?
The guy that was helping her pack. Theo, is that his name?
Yeah.
I'm put him on. I'm pros him as a suspect on the table.
What? We really saw.
I said tinfoil. I said tinfoil.
Man, let my man live.
I'm putting him at. See that right there. I'm putting him out there because he's literally been like the silent stalker the whole damn time. He just as big a fan as the dude that kidnapped Charles and what's her name. He knew that the auction was going on upstairs. Mabel didn't know that, and she's been watching this shit with very close eyes.
That was one of my biggest things, is how great a detective is this girl? She didn't even realize that. I mean, she's like, who can I talk to possibly that might know more or give me some insight? I don't know. The guy who was with him 24 hours a day.
That was my thought.
Manager.
From the beginning, why are you not talking to what is being billed as the right hand man? And I think she assessed it right. That does lead to animosity, and I wouldn't necessarily say jealousy, but there's definitely friction there. I mean, well deserved friction though, because as we heard, they adopted this boy, and he thought he had a great family, and then they were able to have their own child, out the blue. And he basically just got shoved into the box of being a live-in babysitter and having to clean up all of the shit. The king shits and the hand wipes. That's basically the situation that he was put into. And that sucks. But who's to say that this other super huge fan that has been seeing the story unfold from the beginning wasn't just silently going for retribution for the real person that deserves the fans? I'm just saying. He's a little sus.
That doesn't make you a stalker. You gotta be stalker-ish. Do the stalker type thing.
Okay, but what evidence have we seen in this season alone about stalker fans? Yeah. I think it tricks.
Got it. But yeah, I gotta tell you, after this opening, I was definitely back on board. But I didn't need.
I'm gonna say that next, Jake.
What? Oh, what's that?
Loretta is Dickie's mother. Wait.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Absolutely.
Which one is Loretta again?
Oliver's girlfriend.
Oh yeah. What's her name? Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're gonna get
there.
Because remember, like in all the photos, it was like not just Ben, but it was also Howard. And if
Dickie.
If Dickie was like again, like truly like the mastermind of everything,
and
then just Ben taking all the credit, it would make sense now.
Yeah. That gives her a motive.
Yeah, and that's why Loretta had that. Because remember, like I said last time, like I said, it wasn't. Those pictures weren't just of Ben; they were Ben and Dickie. She was probably saving all those pictures. And I think the thing that she was talking about last episode, when she said she did something horrible, that was it. She gave up her kid.
She gave up her son for adoption.
Yeah, so she didn't want to mess up her career, and that's what she gave up her kid, and basically that was the kid. But
yeah, I'm 100% on board with that theory.
Absolutely cool. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. We shall see. It'll be crazy. Dear brother Dickie. Yep, that's Loretta. That's why she always called him sweet little Dickie, because that's her son, and she knows it.
And that's a story for Tober to like make a documentary of right there. An accomplice.
Oh, absolutely. But it's even in her name. Even in her name, a killer. UMA. I'm a killer.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, bro.
He's reaching.
That's a bit of a reach. That's a bit of a reach.
You can't see.
Come on, man.
He's reaching.
Can that?
He's reaching.
I was so excited when this episode opened up with a monologue from her. Like after that, I was just, you already know, I was blinded for the whole rest of the show. Like all the clues that they tried to show to incriminate dear brother Dickie just flew right past me. I was like, nope.
I love the Bonnie cameo, even though her dying. I'm like, damn, I miss Bonnie.
I know, right? I didn't realize how much it was. Like that's what I said. I was like, it was nice to get the flashback of Bunny. I didn't realize how much I was missing her until I saw that. Her and all her New York brassness. It just brings it. But yeah, all I could see was the guilty is this whole episode. It was crazy. And who knew Woman was a klepto with her thieving ass? Just up there snaking shit.
Bruh. I mean, at least we can say it's a controlled hoarding, though, because it's not all over her house. She just has that one closet with everything stacked neatly, and everything has its compartments and whatnots. But still, again, you sus, ma'am. There's a little something extra going on. I need the full backstory on that, not just the little snippets that we got.
But it paid off though. That handkerchief that she ended up getting, like she literally pawned that off in like
That's
the auction.
that's
I was
that's
like,
if
yo.
no. That's if she actually pawned it off. We didn't see that happen, so I don't know. I'm still I'm still questioning that because she don't really need that money.
But we see who ends up having it though.
Right.
So she did do it.
Unless there was some kind of switch and he had the other.
Could have been some random switcheroo.
But yeah, they played it at the end when they showed Dickie at the end crying, holding the handkerchief. That's supposedly that's the one she sold him at that same time. And well, yeah, it could be a switch, or they're playing it like that's the one, and that's who bought it. So let's see how that plays out. And then we get to my new favorite part of every episode, and how do we do on finding the Easter egg this week?
I did not look because I didn't start from the beginning like you guys, so my memory is not like focused on what's in the building in the opening.
Oh,
really? I found it in an instant. I was like, "Oh,
what was the difference?
Good? I'm getting
what was
good.
it?
And I had to like pause it, go back to the previous opening, and then like, let me look at this guy in the background, Charles's background. I'm like, got it on the first watch.
Got him. I was the same way. I saw it. I was like, I got to go back and look. I go, that looks off. And then I watched it all the way through, and there's nothing else. I was like, I don't need to go back. That's it, 100%.
What was it?
Like, tell him, Phantom. What was it?
In the background of Charles, you see the death rattles, or in the background of Charles.
It's like his handkerchief.
Okay.
Like wallpaper on the
back. There we go. Like the handkerchief. Yeah.
Or like
a handkerchief, like wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Which is interesting. When I saw it, I'm like, what is it trying to hint? Like Charles is the murderer or something? Like, what's going on here?
I know, you're like, what? But then instant. And the way they made it so easy is because that's how they ended it, was like showing it in her thing, and then it basically pans right to freaking, it goes right to it. I was like, oh my God. It's like, you're already glowing in my eyes because the red rattle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I love, the Easter eggs are so fun, and the fact that they do. I don't know, were they doing it last season? I haven't even gone back to check. Like, were they doing this?
No clue.
Something new? It has to be something new. I would have noticed it. I think. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was cool. We caught that right out of the gate, and then Uma is so snarky. Like, I must admit, I get the vibe that she is very New York. Like, is it like it out there? Like,
yes,
oh,
yes, 100%. 100%. So, okay, so the thing about this, not New Yorkers on any given day, and of course, Venom, you can correct me if I'm wrong. On any given day, we generally just don't give a fuck. Like the lifestyle of no fucks given literally is any average New Yorker on the streets. But this woman, this is a old, rich Caucasian biddy that is in her house, and she's done with life right now. You want to talk about the definition of no fucks given and I don't give a shit? That she embodies the hell out of that. And I think she's shown us that from the very beginning in season 1 all the way up to now. So I do agree that she is absolutely sus. You know, that old crotchety women, sometimes they be shady as fuck. And yeah, Uma shady as hell. But I don't think she's a murderer, especially because, you know, when they found the body, well, when the body dropped down and the body found them, essentially, she came into her whole demeanor in that moment was, oh, what the fuck is this bullshit now? I've had enough of you motherfuckers disrupting my damn time with all this murder and fuck shit and people coming around my spot.
Yeah, she'd already thanked him like 3 times for not having another murder in the building, and then she ends up with a murder in the building anyway.
Okay, right, exactly. And so she's done with the situation, and that right there is my point. That's why I don't think she did it, because she wouldn't have had that reaction if she actually did. If she was expecting that to happen, is she a klepto? Absolutely. Is she a murderer though? Does that make her a murderer? Absolutely. No, I don't think so. Absolutely. I don't think so.
She just so matter-of-factly still accuses Charles of murdering her best friend. So where are your friends? Did you murder them too? Like,
did you hear me? Did you hear me when I said old crotchety Caucasian woman in New York?
So you just
David, am I wrong? Look, you see how he's laughing? That's just their life on a regular basis. Man.
That would be an amazing twist, though. Like, if we find out the cops had it wrong every time, and it really was like Charles who killed them all while visiting the White Room.
You know what? That would be a hell of an awesome twist. Oh, I almost want that to happen because that would be crazy as hell. Because we're basically, that would put him in the role of what's our boy's name, Tobert, because we think he's staying close to the investigation just to see where they at to cover his tracks. This is, if it ends up being Charles in the end, that will literally be the role he was playing in our faces, and we didn't see it the whole time.
They hinted to it. They said he's always lurking. Oh, lurking that way you always do.
He is, because he's always fucking lonely. So he has to incorporate himself into shit.
Charles in the White Room. He killed them all. Nailed it. Either way, she ends up inviting Charles to sit at her table. And again, that just seems so New York to me. Like, tell him don't even think about it. And then once you know he's not thinking about it, then off on the seat.
And not even bat an eye between the hypocrisy of those two sentences at all.
Oh, I just love the snark she was bringing.
At first, I thought he was gonna get a free sandwich, but then next thing you know, he ends up paying for the damn sandwich. I'm like, wait a minute.
You thought he was gonna get a free sandwich? I am questioning. That is two demerits from your New York card, bruh. I knew she was playing him from the moment she started talking to him.
I had to rewatch the scene twice. I'm not even sure if she even paid for that other meal. I think she just got up, walked out, and just grabbed the free meal.
And just grabbed the that's why he said when he looked at the bill, he was like, "Wait, hold on. This is one sandwich and one side and a drink in front of me. What the hell is all this? Oh, I ordered lunch and dinner too. Bye, bitch." What?
That was so good.
She is an OG, and if I ever knew an older person like her, when I go home to visit my family, I would absolutely make time to have lunch with that woman every damn time I am back home.
Oh, yeah, been a new bunny. Because, like when Charles said he quit the play, she was just quick with, you got shit canned.
She was like, man, you got fired. Don't bullshit a bullshitter.
When he tried to explain who President McKinley was, she's all, the suspense.
She's like, the suspense was killing me. Meaning, I don't give a fuck about anything you got to say right now. I'm here to tell you what you need to listen to.
Uma was killing me right out of the gate. That may not be all she killed. I'm telling you. Uma did it! Uma did it! Again, Charles with his zero filter, though. Uma finally tries to show an ounce of compassion, sympathizing how hard it is to lose a friend at their age. She's like, well, at your age, I'm sure. Just always thinking he's still some spring chicken. Who is this man? Oh, my God, I'm dying. But it looks like that did start striking nerve with him, and he doesn't want to wait till it's too late. So Charles is ready to get the band back together. And Uma, like we said, she is just a gangster. Saying her and Bunny fought a lot, and Bunny would never apologize. Charles like, oh, so you would? She's like, fuck no, what'd I do?
So are you fucking joking? What?
No one.
Did you hear me say we were best friends? Obviously, she gonna have the same outlook on life that I do, so fuck no, I didn't apologize. What you mean? I'm offended that you even thought I did that. She is hilarious, and I think that part right there really does show the true heart of her character, because all that shit she talked when Bunny came and met her for lunch that time, and she was playing with that spinner, and she was like, damn it, every fucking body I see now has one of them things. I don't even know what that thing is. But then 2 seconds later, when they sitting down and they get the food, they both sitting there laughing because they just sitting there playing with the spinner.
And speaking of good, did you recognize Charles's ringtone? When he got that?
Oh, yeah, that same one that he made, that one hit wonder.
The Flip Flop song. He used to sing to Lucy.
Oh, yeah.
Man, that was so dope. I heard that. I was like, dude, just the little touches, the details in this show are freaking amazing.
He trying to hold on to them glory days.
But poor Charles, why is he always getting stuck with the bill? To find out, like you said, it wasn't even just brunch he was paying for. Lunch and dinner, too. I'm telling you, Uma is a gangster. A mooching, klepto-killing machine. Did you see that closet? Tell me that wasn't the closet of a murderer. And why was there a portrait of Nathan Lane hidden half hung on the wall?
I was saying the same thing, too.
Wait a minute. Okay, see, first of all, this is the dossier information that I need. How long have you been in this building, ma'am? They may have discussed that in previous seasons. I'm sorry, I don't remember. And also, who else have you met in this building, and how many years have you been a klepto? Because you don't get that whole accumulation of all those things properly ordered in that she has like different containers for different things, unless you've been doing that for a while. So her hoarding is very organized.
That is
I don't think it makes her a murderer though. She's got a random OCD complex, and like she said, if I keep the things that those people have, then those people truly never leave me. People die, memories fade, but these things, when I look at them, I can still look and remember my best friend that I would have dinner with all the time and argue about the most random stupid shit, and we wouldn't talk to each other for a week, but then we get back together and it would be like no time passed at all. So I find that side of her very eye-opening to her character, and also just very loving it. And it's a little sad. There's a lot of folks like that, I think, in the world, and I love that they put that in there for her character.
Actually, that was another sweet Easter egg and a nice little tie-in with the rest of the episode. Like, for those that didn't put it all together, Nathan Lane, who also played Teddy in the first 2 seasons, was in the movie Producers with Matthew Broderick, and he cameoed in this episode along with Mel Brooks, who's the one who produced it. So there's a cool way to get them all in the same episode. I kind of like that. I love the special guest appearances this show keeps bringing, and like how it keeps them like who they really are, like Sting, Amy Schumer, Matthew Broderick, Mel Brooks, and it like makes them really them. Like, it's a cool little tie over.
Facts. I almost came up with a name around Matthew Broderick, but I was like, you know what? Nah, this one's better.
But Uma's packing up to leave. Charles spots the opening's Easter egg in Uma's purse, and she has like Ben's handkerchief from the night of the murder in her bag. Like, I knew it was this woman, and they let me know right then and there. They're gonna try to frame it like it's for your brother Dickie, but I'm telling you, they brought Uma back because that's what they do.
Circumstantial, bro.
Oh my god! Then we get another.
That proves nothing. It proves nothing.
Then we get another blast from the past, and I'm almost ashamed to admit it. I had all but forgotten poor Theo from the last 2 seasons. I was like, wait, oh my god, I forgot about this one. Like, bringing him back, he was all last season. He was huge. But that was some convenient plot placement. Like, how was Mabel asking if there was, like, someone, like I said, she could talk to get closer with, like we were talking about earlier, and Theo has to remind you that the dead man's brother is right upstairs. Like, real great detective shots.
Yeah. Also, is he still on house arrest? Theo, I remember he was on house arrest before.
Maybe, because we've only seen him in the apartment thus far, in the building thus far. We haven't seen him outside anywhere else. Unless I'm forgetting something.
Unless your new apartment's not in the building.
I thought she was packing up there. I thought that was her aunt's apartment. She was still packing up.
Yeah,
because he said you waited till the last minute to do all this.
Yeah, but then at the end we saw the Olds go to that apartment, and it was some bitchy lady living there now.
Okay. All right.
But how great was that first audition? Like, it panned to. I mean, it can't be easy to sing that bad. Like, poor Cliff looked like he was about to jump out the window. Like, what? That would be brutal. Have to sit there all day.
I was wondering why was he moving like that, and then it's like, oh, he was like what, stress dancing or something?
Oh, that man wasn't even out of the room yet, and Oliver just belts out, "Everyone stinks!"
Everyone stinks! But the stress dancing fits so well. That was such a random thing to put in there. And again, being a former not a former, I'm still a theater kid, but I just go to shows now instead of actually being in the shows. It fits. I don't know if y'all understand how well just his actions right there in his stressful moment actually fits. It was great.
His energy is amazing, and it was good to get a Cliff and Donna scene without the kissing. That was nice. Sans kissing.
Yeah. Dad, why did you remind us of the random incest? Ew, stop it.
Perfect bringing them back. Sans kissing. Oh, it's so funny when Oliver says, "I have way too much integrity to call Charles back," and Donna was just quick with the counterpoint, "You have no integrity." I feel like
none.
This is the perfect time to make use of that. He's like, nice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Nope, I'll take passion over talent any day. Who's next?" And then we see him just face down on the floor. He just can't take one more.
Like, wait a minute. And then the justification that she gave us, like, oh, that's what he does when he loves it. The man looks like he's playing dead laying in a ditch. What are you talking about?
That was amazing. And just when it seems all is doomed, Oliver gets a sweet mother of Sodom moment when Cliff comes back saying he has someone for the constable role. And I knew it had to be like some inside meta joke when Oliver asked who, some less famous offspring of Mark Platt. I'm like, who the hell is Mark Platt?
Right,
I had to look that up. And then I see he's like some old school producer with just a plethora. You know, I said it. Those of you who know. But he's got a plethora of movie titles under his belt. So I'm guessing, like, on more than one occasion, he's had a friend or a family member that he got to roll into a show to. Like,
Many a time.
This so meta.
I have a question. Did either of you guess the reveal of who it was going to be?
Now, DJ spoiled it last week.
Yeah, I did.
Did he? Okay.
They showed Matthew Broderick on one of the. I saw like 2 trailers of this thing, and that was.
Okay,
I
didn't watch any trailers. Oh wait, I may have seen one, but he was not in that one. So I was sitting here wrecking my brain like, wait, who could he be so excited about getting? And then I heard the voice, and I was like, wait, nah. Is that who I think it is? And then the freaking camera came over, and it's fucking Ferris Bueller's ass. The freshman, and I'm not even going to explain that. If you know, you know. But the freshman is on here singing this damn song and doing it well. Doing it very well. Right when Charles actually gets the hint that, oh, wait a minute, he's recasting already? Because he was so sure. Exactly. That's that bum ass line that he gave. Talking about, oh, well, he has a history of stealing roles from me. Boy, you quit. Exactly. He didn't steal a damn thing from you. What do you mean?
And the opening's just a couple weeks out. Like, you quit. Did you think everything was just going to pause until you figured it out? Like, come on, Charles. What
seriously.
Just as awkward as ever, just lurking in the background, talking about checking doorbells. Like, what are you doing?
You couldn't even come up with a good lie, bruh. You're a theater actor. You're supposed to be able to improv at the drop of a dime. What's wrong with you?
Oh, my. But that was so sweet when like Matthew flexed on him with that. Oh, I'm not sure I have the song yet, and then rips it out real quick, and then looks over at Charles. Oh yeah, I do have it.
Matthew, that was cold.
That was so sweet.
It was, and that's why it made the burn that came back later, a few scenes from now. How awesome that burn was! But we'll get to that when we get to that scene.
He wasn't done flexing. Then he sees Oliver like starting to get a little sentimental and starting to soften to Charles. So he steps in real quick and says, "Let's share some gut milk and talk more about the song." Just a total blocker move. Like he was flexing hard on Charles. I was dying. I was loving that scene. But upstairs, Theo and Mabel check out Dickie's silent auction, and we see Mabel needs some major upgrades in her communication and people skills. Just blurts out all the like long, ruthless questions about Ben's death. Like, this is his brother, man. Like, someone you have already seen with your own eyes is broken up and extremely emotional about this. Like, have a little class and sympathy? Like, what? I don't know. Well, how do you feel about that one, Phantom?
Yeah, but what do you expect, though? You really have an option. You all know who Maple is with her freaking
Nah.
It was gonna come.
It don't, no. I give no quarter. We are in season 3.
Oh,
ma'am, you have solved 2 murders by now. Going through this, okay? Your tact needs to be better. There's no excuse for that. Nah, I don't give her a pass on that at all.
I think that was them showing that she really does need her old. Like that's when Oliver would have came in and like
exactly, and would have been able to smoothly lead into that.
Exactly. Yeah, she needs her olds, and that was kind of them showing it, I think. Mm-hmm. But downstairs, Matthew is explaining his process and how he approaches a role, and like he did in War Games, he learned the right code, and for his role in election, he started teaching high school and dating some students. I was like, what was the last part?
Like, I was like, wait a minute, how old were you when you was dating these high school students now?
Right?
Bruh.
Just trying to smooth past that one real quick. I was like, wait a minute, what was that last one again? Like, you didn't even just float by that. Like, all red flags, warning signs were blaring. That was crazy. Oliver's getting all excited about how dedicated Matthew seems to be about the role, but little did he know what he was doing. So back upstairs, Mabel, always the pit bull with the bone, isn't taking get lost for an answer. Like, she goes back in for another try at Dickie, who's like a little bit more open this time around, and he ends up dropping some huge nuggets on us. And one being that he was indeed adopted. So like we were just saying, I feel like the horrible thing Loretta was talking about was that she gave him up to be adopted. So basically, I mean, are we all on board that Loretta is definitely Dickie's mom at this point?
Yeah, like 80-20 there.
See, I'm gonna say 90-10 on that. The breadcrumbs are very clearly there. And one, that would just really be great storytelling. And this show does have a track record, I think, within all of our books as having those great little nuggets to connect everything and put stuff out there. So I think that's very, very plausible. And at this moment here, I think it was a bit of relief for Dickie to be able to speak about these things, because again, look how many years he's been having to deal with this. And it's not exactly on the same level, but if you have ever had a step parent, sometimes step parents aren't as kosher as they should be with kids in the relationship that they're in that are not actually theirs. I was lucky enough to have a stepmom and stepdad that still looked out for me and didn't treat me any differently from their kids. So I can see why he would have the outlook on life that he did. And like we were saying earlier, he's had to cover up like all the shit for this kid from day one almost, it seems, because his parents made him the golden child and spoiled rotten. Like he's a very entitled individual, even though he tries to mask that.
Oh yeah,
sometimes.
He's a miracle baby. Absolutely.
So yeah, and that's exactly how they treat him, and I think that's really hard for Dickie, and I feel for him.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, Jake, I saw that snippet too. I don't think, for some reason, I just don't think Mabel's going to be getting married. I don't know if it's
married to who and why.
Well,
it could be like the whole time skip. Boom, like she's about to get married.
Or it's another play that they're doing, and something happens. Like maybe that's how they're going to end. Maybe that's how they're going to end this season. Is they're doing another play on Broadway, and Mabel's in it. And
that sounds more plausible.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's like a wedding, and then all of a sudden somebody dies, so they run outside. Like that's the thing; all three of them come busting through a door. So
something about a runaway bride or something, yeah, and then they stumble upon a murder scene like they always do.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it's insane.
Yeah, her getting married for real though. Yeah, I'm with DJ. I don't believe that.
Also, something very interesting to me was when he let it be known that he was good at covering up for Ben. DUIs, dick pics, etc. So this tells me that the doctor saying that Ben's blood was clean is totally meaningless. Dickie could have just paid them off to cover it up. So now maybe the toxicology report wasn't so clean and there was shit in it.
He has a history of covering these things up for Ben. So it means, it makes it stand out even more in my mind that he knows how to cover his tracks. He has been through the movements. He's watched enough true crime stories, CSI and all those, to know how to cover his tracks on a murder and make it look like an accident. So just saying.
We shall see. But yeah, that's crazy. Once he told me that and he said he's been covering up from Ben, I was like, oh my god. So there was the cocktail was in his blood. And so I mean I don't think we're talking about any twins anymore or anything like that. It's just I think Dickie paid him off, and that's why the toxicology report came back clean. That's
and for real, if this does end up actually like being Dickie is the murderer, it kind of speaks true to how much, even more how much of a shit person Ben was.
One of the murderers.
It sucks. Well, one of the it could have like been a partnership. You're right. I see that. I like it.
But I mean, I'm split. Is it weird that Mabel said that she thinks the police have the wrong guy locked up, and dear brother Dickie was so quick to dismiss it? Like on one hand, you'd think he'd want to get the right killer caught, but on the other, he did say that the only silver lining was the fact that the killer was caught. So I'm not sure how I feel about that.
You can get it two ways. So, like one, he's trying to make sure like it doesn't like get open the case back up, and then it's gonna be like, wait, I kind of like put all this to rest. I want to kind of like move on. He's even again like selling his brother's stuff, but now he's gonna like reopen the case, and it's gonna be more on the news, and it's like now gonna open more wounds all over again. So I can see both sides to it.
But isn't that sus as hell too? Like my man's up there talking about this is the world we live in. Another person wanting to make a buck off my brother, and then turns right around.
Meanwhile,
a minimum bid on this, sir. There's a minimum bid of 5,000. Sucker, what you think? You're like
that right there. That is what cemented it for me. Like, nah, dude, you're trying to keep eyes on the other dude that was actually innocent. Yes, dude was a super fan and he was ridiculous and he was a stalker, but he, like Mabel said, loved that guy. He was not ever going to try to kill him or harm him or hurt him, maim him in any way, shape, or form. Dickie, on the other hand, nah, he has more than enough reason to get at this dude, and I can't even, I don't even feel bad saying it, but he kind of deserves it. Like, dude, you overly entitled, spoiled asshole. You deserved it.
Oh, Tobert, Loretta, and Saz did it. That's what Jake's at.
I mean, I will give you Loretta, maybe even a bit of Tobert, but Saz,
What did Saz do to Jake?
Right, is that right, Jake? How did? Please give us details on that in the chat, Jake. How did Saz offend you to be on this list?
For DJ, it's Uma. For Jake, it's Saz.
Right. That's the name.
She's gonna steal your woman, but I mean, that's don't hate the player, hate the game.
I mean, right, exactly. I mean, I feel like if you allow your woman to get stolen, man, that just says more about you. You wasn't doing what the hell you needed to be doing to keep her.
Charles heads to Uma's to try to get the hanky back, but Uma's not having it. She tells him to use his fucking words if he wants to apologize to Mabel. So gangster. And then tells him that she couldn't give it back even if she wanted. She already sold it. So that's funny that AK thought that Mabel was already questioning, did she really do it? And Phantom was on the fact that I was kind of split either way. I was like, they could have pulled the switch, but they are kind of showing. So it's funny that you guys were 50-50 with that. Like they had that question.
Why phrase it that? You see, and that's the manipulation of the scene that I'm kind of not understanding. They showed him with the handkerchief at the end, but she would know who that man is.
Yeah, exactly.
So why phrase it when she was talking to Charles? Why phrase it the way that she did, saying, "Oh, I sold it to some random fuckboy upstairs at the indoor auction." That phrasing, it gives me pause. I don't know, I can't articulate why exactly, but it just feels off to me. That's why I was thinking maybe she didn't actually sell it.
Unless a nerd did buy it and then he just bought it off the nerd.
And then
just to cover
that's possible. That's possible.
That's possible.
Reason. Or dear brother Dickie and Uma, as I've been saying all along,
they might have done it.
And she had to hide it. He's like, Charles saw me with this. You're going to have to take this or whatever. And so
I will propose again, because I do still firmly stand with David that Uma is innocent of the actual murder. Now, could she possibly have been a hand in it somehow, whether with her knowledge or without? That I can see as plausible. Because I don't think she pushed him down anybody's elevator shaft. I do think that she saw that handkerchief, though, and she swiped it like she has been doing everything else. But I still don't think that she's a killer. I think, what's his name may have just found out that she had that handkerchief. I mean, it's not hard. He's been moving in the shadows for how many years, cleaning up Ben's messes, so he knows how to find out information. And he went down there, paid her whatever number she gave him, and got the handkerchief.
There were very few people that were at both scenes of both deaths, and Uma was suspect number one that was at both of them. Both of them at both exact scenes. That woman, Uma did it. It was Uma. But Charles let it slip.
Stop it!
Charles even let it slip that Mabel thinks whoever has the hanky may be the killer. Yeah, that's why she just told you she sold it. That's why she got rid of the evidence. It was funny. Charles thought he was making a new friend and tried following her into her apartment and just got the door closed in his face. Just a lost puppy without his crew out there.
You know how... See, Charles is not good at reading the room. No. He should have read that when he was about to knock on the door and she came around the corner from the elevator like, oh, fuck. What, do I have to adopt you now? Okay? That one lunch where I duped you into sitting with me and paying for my breakfast, lunch, and dinner does not mean that I actually want to be friends with you and talk to you all the time. Why are you at my door? Bye.
Yeah, wait till I need some more food, then I'll be at it. Jake
exactly.
Great points for the Saz theories. I'm loving the Jake points for the Saz theories.
All the murders were for love.
Oh, he wants to go, she wants to go back to jail so she can be with her new girl, Charles's ex, Jan. Oh, all the murders were for love, and these are the three people. Those were the three people that they were on the dates with. I mean, I love the tie-ins. That's fantastic.
It's
Stage
interesting. I
manager,
give you that.
nobody else that, but,
Yeah, I definitely thought the stage manager,
Like
something
Katie's
was up
been
with
blessed for a
that.
lot of people, but I don't feel like it. The only thing I need to know about KT is why was her door locked the night of when Howard went to go get
Yeah,
the broom? Why was her door
exactly.
locked when she said she never locks her door?
Who was in
Something
there?
that's
Yeah,
what
I don't think it was her that was in there, but somebody was in there and they locked the door for a reason. Who was it?
And I think they heard weird noises. So either somebody was getting it on or somebody was shredding something. Because why did they show that paper being shredded? So
Or maybe it was the Phantom. Maybe it was the Phantom of the theater. What's his name? The Discount Martin Short, the director that's living back there. Yeah.
John Blau.
Maybe he locked the door and it had nothing to do with the murder. He just happened to lock the door that night. I don't know why.
Guess somebody saw him coming and he didn't want to be caught, so he locked the door so nobody could catch him.
Highly possible.
There you go. Over at Oliver's place, he's coming to his wits' end. Like Matthew Broderick is beyond over there. Oliver calls Mel Brooks to see, like, was he this bad? And Mel tells him, yeah, you're fucked. He's done. Oh, it was so sweet getting a Mel Brooks cameo, dude. That man is like 98 years old or something. He's just doing it.
Mel Brooks is awesome.
That was sweet. I like how Mabel has Theo doing all the packing while she's standing around playing with her storyboard. Like, man, you have no job. Like, I know you're not paying this man. How are you having him do all the work? Like, random. Are you up there packing when somebody else is screwing around at their house?
Depends on how much you're gonna pay me.
That's just it. You know that man ain't getting paid.
But we don't know that. Nah, we don't know that though.
We know that he ain't getting paid. That was calling up a friend. He might get a pizza ordered for lunch, maybe, and get a couple slices. That's usually what happens. You're like, hey, help me move. I'll buy a pizza and some Cokes. Instead of paying the $1,000 it would be. Also hated that clue that like she supposedly figured out. The police said he died at 12:06, but Ben always sets his clock 20 minutes back, so that can't be right. So you're telling me that out of all the cops and detectives on a murder scene, none of them had their own phone or owned a watch? They all just went off the time on a dead man's wristwatch? Like, get man. That was so beyond ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. You should be going about your time, not the time of the victim.
The actual time. Like, nobody thought to do any type of check except picking his arm up, seeing he had the watch on, and taking it off and putting it in an evidence bag and logging the time. That's your only mode of timing things. What were the times on other things that you found on the scene?
When they weren't wearing a wristwatch that was broken on one time. Like
that
you didn't notice
sense.
You looked at it 3 times and it had the same, like that whole, everything about that building. That was really
ridiculous.
Oh, let's go. Plot convenience. But last week, a viewer wrote in that she thought that Tobert might be working for Cinda Canning. So it stood out to me when he made mention that Cinda's not the only one with access to top-notch equipment. Like, that whole little conversation just seemed a little bit out of place to me. Like,
oh my gosh! Don't tell me Cinda Canning just like hired Tobert to then get some info from Mabel. Oh no.
Yeah. What do you think? Is there any merit to that, AK? Could Tobert be a spy for Cinda?
Oh, a spy for who?
Cinda Canning. Tina Fey.
I like that.
Somebody wrote in on our
honestly,
stream and said, and she came up with this theory.
Looking at that now, knowing that within my brain, that would work. Because again, what is the and we've all been asking this. What is the reason Tobert is still in the story? Your job supsupposly was to chronicle Ben.
Well, that's why they had to give
you don't have to be here. Yeah, he's gone. And this time he's not coming back. You literally have no reason to be here. If you were still looking for any type of story about Ben's character, you would be talking to his brother. So why are you keeping yourself in here with this group? To find out what?
Supposedly because he's in love. He's just there because he's Selena at this point. So
I'm not.
as for all we know, she had no for all we know, she had no place to go, and that's Tobert's house. She moved in with Tobert because she didn't have any other place to go, and they're dating. So he's like, "Oh, just move in with me for now." I mean, we don't.
That looked like
no idea.
that looked like a really nice spot. So again, actually, that just gives even more weight to that theory because he cannot afford that place being a freelance photographer or videographer.
You don't know, man. Listen, documentarians get paid if they get sold.
They do, but he doesn't have a gig like of that caliber right now.
Yeah, he's out there doing elephants in Africa. You got something going on. I mean, it's flying across the planet doing documentaries. You're getting something in, and then getting sweet gigs with movie stars like Ben Glenroy.
One movie star, and that's what I'm saying. And that movie star is gone now. There's not a whole lot more story there.
Yeah, he might be a rich kid on a trust fund. We have no idea where Tobert's doing.
True, I give you that.
Poor Tobert thought he had come up with a fantastic name and concept for Mabel's new podcast, but she just absolutely shuts it down. Like, it was funny how quickly he changed the tune with that. He saw what she thought about it. He's like, I mean, yeah, it's a terrible idea. Probably fan submission, which is exactly what it is. Like, that's what he is, a big super fan. It's so funny. He admits as much in the next scene when he meets Theo and already knows exactly who he is just from past podcasts. So that's pretty good. Theo comes up with
ironic, we had a super fan that literally tied up Charles. Was it Charles and Mabel?
Yeah,
and
Charles
now
and Mabel. Yeah.
you have another super fan right here. Like, is she not gonna have like no red flags here? Like, maybe I should watch out for Tobert.
From day one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True enough.
Then Theo comes up with another clue showing that the original author of CoBro's CoBro name had been changed. It was switched from an R to a B, and Tobert puts 2 and 2 and comes up with Dickie. Like, what did you guys get that right away? Like, Dick was, I mean,
yes.
I guess Richard, a lot of Richard's nicknames are Dick. So Dickie.
Every Richard that I have known, their nickname is Dick. So him being called Dickie, that made nothing but sense. And if you really look at that, that looks like it was an R. And that line to connect the bottom was drawn later to make it be Ben's character. So yeah, I'm with that theory. So I think this is all stolen, quote unquote stolen, like movie valor.
So what if we find out that Tobert is actually the triplet, or not really a triplet, but just the third brother?
Another adopted kid. That could fit.
That's what I was.
That could fit, and then that's what I was. Which one of the triplets did it? There's 3 brothers, and it was 2 brothers that conspired against the one that was literally. The more we find out about him, he was a crime against humanity. Period. So again, I don't know that I have a whole lot of sympathy for him because he seemed like a real shit person. But that would be a very, very interesting twist.
He could have had both. He could have had both brothers working for him because Dickie said that he was adopted. He never said that he wasn't adopted with another brother. They could have adopted 2 boys.
Exactly.
So they could have had Tobert. They could have adopted Tobert and Dickie, and then all of a sudden had miracle baby Ben, and there's your 3 kids, just like the 3 triplets in the play or in the musical.
Yeah, it calls in more questions about their history together too, because what's his name? He said, I always tried to protect him once my parents actually had him, and I think if this does get woven in the couple episodes we have left, that Tobert is one of the adopted kids, then it fits even more because he pointedly made it a point to say, talking about that he said my parents. So that completely dispels, at least in Mabel's mind and anyone else that didn't think to catch it, that there's only been him and Ben. So no one would think to look for a third brother simply because of how he phrased that. So that's very interesting. I like that theory.
We're breaking it down, folks. I think we're getting it. We're getting there. I think we're going to get there before the end. I think I already figured it out. I think we got this nailed. I'm telling you, that is the third brother. That is the. Where are you hearing this? Are you hearing this anywhere else, people? Let me know. What is happening out there? So yeah, I think we're going to find out Tobert might be the third brother, and that's how that all ties in. Dickie has people call him Dickie instead of Robert to differentiate himself. He already told us that he was adopted. So yeah, like I said, I think parents adopted 2 kids at the same time, and we're going to find out that But Ben's been a fuck up his whole life, and these two constantly had to clean up after him. So they collude to murder him, and maybe even came up with the idea of making like a documentary series out of it, and like it knowing that if he died, it would make millions. And Dickie did state like that it was that world we live in was basically his idea. So, I don't know. It could be like that could have been their idea all the time, and like yeah, they're just putting a documentary together so they get paid because they're tired of their asshole brother getting all the fame and fortune.
That and the auction, they selling off them assets quick.
Mm-hmm. But again, the show makes fun of itself, reminding us how the crew like once accused Sting of murder because he hated dogs. So this is actually pretty solid clue for them as far as evidence goes.
Right.
I love how much this show did. And then back over at Oliver's, he's just losing it. Like, he has had absolutely enough of one Matthew Broderick's inane shenanigans. Like, he says, it is time to go. But when he opened the door, he sees Charles' creepy ass just standing there again. Like, talking about, I'm checking peepholes. Like, what is wrong with this man, fandom?
I've asked myself that since season 1, episode 1.
Oh, you're not a Charles Hayden maiden?
No, man. What's his face? Oh my gosh. Howard. Is that his last name? Or am I bugging?
Howard? Whose last name?
No, Oliver. I'm Oliver.
Yeah, Oliver Putnam. Putnam Maniac. But he finally admits he's lying and just came to apologize. And Oliver, of course, happily accepts it and like gives like a feeble one of his own and promptly fires Matthew from the musical. Like, was this the right decision though? Because like it's good that they're back to being friends, but that doesn't change the fact that Charles still has stage fright. So what are they going to do about this, Brandon?
Of course, it was the right decision. You see how Matthew was bucking him like every single second the moment he hired him. Like, it had to have happened. Man couldn't get any hours of sleep. He's like, I'm done. I gotta rehire Charles back. Turns around, thank goodness Charles was right there.
Yo, and the best thing about that, well, first and foremost, small pause. I see Spots has jumped into the chat. What's good, Spots?
Legend.
Always lovely to see you. Legend in the chats, absolutely. And this is the part that I was talking about when we started tonight. The burn of this conversation near the end, where obviously because Charles is Charles, he had to give a whole ass analogy about how he was apologizing. And Oliver, not missing a beat, he knows how to speak Charles, so he just says, I get it, I forgive you, and we move on from there. But they're sitting there having this conversation, and it was literally like they both forgot the freshman was still standing at the door. And Charles, the freaking troll that he is, turned around and looked at him. What? You're still here?
Oh, no.
It's over. Go home.
Yeah, he was feeling
Bye. Yeah, he pulled the Ferris Bueller Uno reverse.
Again, I'm loving all the perfectly timed Oliver
I loved it
this season, though. Like, he has me giggling every time. The grunts that he gives are so on time and perfect.
Dude, the memories of everything with these actors from my childhood is just so great. I remember the first thing I saw Steve Martin and Martin Short in together was Jungle to Jungle, and they were dynamic on that movie. And this just is a culmination of many years being actors together, and they're great. What'd you say, Phantom?
Jungle to Jungle sounds familiar. I don't know if I saw it.
You probably have seen it. I think it was out in time for you to have seen it in your younger years also.
Oh, I've seen this.
Put that on the list. Put that on the list of retro movies to review. It's a good little flick from back in the day.
Yeah, that's when his son was his son like born like in the jungle?
Yeah, his son that he didn't know he had was born from his ex-wife who had left him and moved to some random remote island and was raising him with the natives on that island, and he had to come and see her about signing the divorce papers because he was getting ready to be married to somebody else. It was slap happy and cheesy as hell, but that's what you got from movies in the late 80s and 90s, and it was great.
But it was so good. It was so good when Oliver said, "I'll bet you would have made a much better Ferris than him." And Charles asked,
Lies.
"Oh, you mean it?" He was like, "Oh, I want to."
And that is what friends do. We razz each other and talk about each other for filth, and then we high five each other on the sick burns later. That's it.
You think that was a dig at all the like smaller podcasters out there not using professional microphones when Tobert was like trying to set up and they just decided she'd just use her phone to record? I think they were going really good.
These phones today are better than some like regular microphones. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't take it as that because the microphone I use now is the microphone I bought when I first started doing a bunch of YouTube, and it was like a little $20 Samsung that is still kicking.
Some iPhone not chargers, cameras are pretty good.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Some tech is just made really well and made to last. So I've not upgraded yet.
Back at Oliver's, he and Charles are downing some gut milk and catching up. And Charles tells him about Uma and the stolen hanky, and Oliver reveals what he found at Loretta's. And it was good, at least, like seeing the two olds back together. Like they fell right back into their lanes. Like when Oliver said, "I see how you and Mabel missed it, but how did I miss it?" Like, oh my God, I miss our podcast, Oliver.
And that part right there, I think, was probably the best moment, honestly, for me, because that's when they both clicked on to the radio and they heard Mabel talking about the new murder and hashtag Bloody Mabel. I'm doing this one solo this time, so come find out and see the shit that I found. And they both left sitting there stuck like, wait, what? Yeah, y'all literally just told her to go fuck herself and fuck off someplace. And now she's done that, and now y'all mad and hurt feelings.
She kind of walked out on that. Yeah, they were being too busy and didn't have time for her. But that was another fun callback when Oliver said he almost called her, and Charles was like, "Really?" And he was instantly like, "Nah, she'd hate that." But I did draft a text to her, like just reminding us of the lesson they learned about how younger generation hates calls and just text.
Facts. So many facts.
And I'm not sure who that was that like moved into Mabel's aunt apartment, but what a miserable neighbor she looks to be. Like if she wasn't holding that newborn, she would have been my first vote to be next season's victim. I'll tell you that. That's just made her good. But the olds were finally making their way to apologize to Mabel, but after getting the door slammed in their face, they, like she said, received their notification on their phones with the new episode release of their podcast. What's up, fandom? Was Mabel out of line for doing that, or did she have every right to do that? I don't know.
Nah, started with the trio, end with the trio.
That was out of line.
Wait, no. That wasn't the question though. At this point in time, do you think that she was, genuine and she deserved to be putting out that opinion that she did?
Well, I'm like, is she out of line for doing this without him? Because, like he said, they started together and like they should finish together, but they didn't have time for her, and she did let him know, like, I'm going to figure this thing out with or without you.
Whether y'all want to or not. Exactly. They were both heavily distracted, and I get it, but at the end of the day, you both committed to doing this thing and to going through these steps that we need to go through to get this case solved and putting out a good podcast for our listeners, and y'all been fucking up. Mabel literally is the only one with the game plan still in mind. And I understand that they do have other things going on, but this is where you, in your life's experience being the elders of the groups, you make sure to spend your time accordingly and get things done. And y'all literally left her in the dust and left her to fend for herself. So I feel like, yeah, she's absolutely justified in just saying, okay, you know what? Y'all want to be on this fuck shit? I'm out too. I'm going to go do this by myself, and now y'all got to deal with that.
Just like Jake said, there was a murder in the building, and they weren't helping. Come on.
Yeah.
We need you back.
From the very beginning, they were distracted.
The fellows seemed out of sorts about it, but they weren't the only ones. It looks like the detective got a call from a certain someone who I'm guessing will be making a reappearance next week, and I'm here for it. What's up, fandom? We ready for Detective Williams to come back?
Oh, yeah. Because who else would know?
She's going to get back on.
Especially from what he said. Like, you know what? You are right. They are a pain in my ass. However, we do need to reopen this case because, like, they kind of made some points, though. So let's go investigate these things a bit more.
There it is. That is what it is. Oh, where are we at? What do we think of this one, AK?
I'm just like every episode, I'm here for it. Honestly, the more we go into the season, my favorite episode is replaced by the new episode. They're ramping it up every time. I think this has probably been the best season so far, actually, and that's not knocking season 1 or 2. They were great, and I think I'm just really enjoying the journey on this one. I love it, and I'm a theater kid, so I might be a bit more biased to the framework for this one.
They're not making it easy to figure the season out.
Yeah, they're taking us down some loopholes and rabbit holes, and I like it.
I do miss the trio being together. We need to get them back together. I think I call it. They're going to be like half of them are back together this episode. I think she'll be back next episode, and we'll be back. That would be fantastic. How about you, Phantom? How'd you feel about this one?
Loved it still. I would say like a 7.9 with this one.
7.9?
Mm-hmm.
I've been giving this one like an 8.9 or a 9. I love this episode. This might have been my
favorite.
This
was like your my episode, man.
Right. Yeah. See, okay, but it's still circumstantial. It's still circumstantial. But I would give this like an 8.75 because I know what do we still have, like 1 or 2 more episodes?
3.
Okay, so yeah, I will give this an 8.75, and that's because I know we're gonna get bangers for these last 3 episodes, so I'm looking forward to it.
This has been on point. The story's been on point. You got Howard point.
Everything. The synergy is still doing the thing that it needs to do with all 3 of these actors running for this show, and I love it.
I do miss Podcast Oliver though. We need to get him back with the crew because him vibing off the other 2 all the time is what makes it so great. That is just fantastic. Well, that's what we can do for the show. We got we got a couple trivia questions this time, so we're gonna see what somebody remembers about this one. If you know these answers, put them in the chat box. If you're watching later, put them in the comment section down below. Uma said there were 3 types of people. What were the 3?
Alive, dead, and dead to me.
Yep.
That easy. Yep. Phantom bringing it home right out the gate.
Well done.
When Oliver sees who Cliff landed for the part, he gasps, "Sweet mother of what?"
Oh, fuck. I forget. That sweet mother.
Oh, sweet mother.
Probably some random stupid TV or theater term that I can't remember.
It's actually a very popular musical producer. I had to look that up too because I knew it. There's nothing that this play just puts.
Wait. Shit, the dude that did Phantom of the Opera.
Everything matters, and like every line is specifically
No, it wasn't Phantom of the Opera. What is his name? It starts with an S.
It does.
Sweet. Damn it. I want to say Soderbergh.
The musicians there.
It's
we're all over it. We're there.
It's literally on the tip of my tongue.
Oh man, you were close enough. We're gonna give you that one. How did Cliff say he and Matthew Broderick met?
Was it like 2 or 3 different times?
Nope, they met.
Who met?
How did Cliff and Matthew Broderick meet?
Oh, during a superstorm at Sandy at the Ritz-Carlton.
Oh yeah,
at the Ritz, all of them.
Yeah.
There's 3 questions in one. Superstorm Sandy at the Ritz-Carlton. He was nailed the next.
Where there was almost no room service.
Right, almost no, but they survived it somehow. How old was Charles when he auditioned for the role of Ferris Bueller?
41.
Oh, he was like in his 40s, yeah. Like, bro, no, you would not have been a better Ferris Bueller than Matthew Broderick. You
mean that? I want to. That was so dope. I love that. What drink from the fridge did Matthew say he wanted to share with Oliver?
Isn't it blueberry raspberry gut milk?
Blue raspberry gut milk. You already know.
What the hell even is raspberry gut milk?
What book was Charles reading in his apartment?
How to Talk to Women?
That
was at the diner, I thought.
No, he kept reading it.
Yeah, he was.
Okay. I must have looked away at the apartment time. Yeah, I saw it when he was in a diner.
He was laying on his couch.
I thought it was gonna be Paul's new book that came out. The little guy that was in Ant-Man.
Look out for the little guy. That would have fit too.
I would have been like, you gotta be kidding me.
that would connect Only Murders and the MCU, and I'm just saying, I never thought about it before. However, that would be some really cool shit to bring in.
My man's got to learn how to get Joy back, so he's got to learn how to talk to women.
Yeah, he's got to learn how to talk to women effectively.
Yeah. What time did the police say Ben Gilroy died?
12:06.
12:06. Absolutely correct. How many times had Matthew sung the song when Oliver said, "Perfect, don't change a thing"?
Was
38.
it like twice? Was it 38?
It
Nah.
was 38. Perfect. Random. Crushing it. How much did Uma say she sold the hanky for?
5K. No,
7,000.
it was $7,000. $7,000.
$1,000. There you
Yeah.
go. Okay. How long did Mel say the producers ran?
Hold on, did who say what?
How long did Mel Brooks tell Oliver that the producers ran for?
Wasn't it like 6 years?
Ooh.
It was
I
indeed
don't
6
remember.
years.
2,500 performances.
Oh, Phantom came
Yeah,
ready.
Well
to
done,
play.
well done, fandom.
He
Well
came
done.
ready for the game. He knew the assignment. What time did Oliver finally kick Matthew Broderick out of his home?
It wasn't like 1 something in the morning.
I don't remember.
Oh, we caught him on one. What time did Oliver finally kick Matthew Broderick out of his home?
It was no 4 a.m.
I'm gonna say between like 1 and 3 a.m. I don't remember the exact one.
You were going to ask it and I didn't write it down. I knew I was going.
Yeah, there's so many questions. Like, damn it, I knew that was gonna be a DJ question.
That's incorrect, Jake. That is incorrect.
117. What's in my memory is somewhere around 1 o'clock, but I honestly don't remember the exact time.
This is a tricky one because you had to hear what Charles reported. He told Lester that he checked all the eye holes because some of them got put in backwards, and he said that this time specifically would be a good time to do it. He was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I'm just with it now."
Yeah, I don't remember.
But Jake's got the next one. Speaking of time, what time was it on Mabel's phone when she was getting ready to record?
Yeah, 117. She said, "You know what? I'm gonna just go do this on my phone over here."
Oh, what was Ben Stalker's full name?
Oh,
Greg something?
was it Greg? Yeah, Greg something. I don't.
It was Greg something.
I don't remember that.
Oh, Jake said, "Bring it home." There you go. Absolutely, it was 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah. Well done.
Good on
well
you, Jake.
done. Oh, what was Ben Stalker's full name? Greg what? Mabel said it at the end when they said the police had the wrong guy. And last but not least, what action doll was shown in the closing credits?
Oh,
So the week I don't look at
it
the
wasn't the
credits,
snake
He
thing.
says something about the damn credits.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
Linda, good to see you out there. Better make
Hey,
your
Linda.
numbers. Good to see you.
It wasn't his actual name.
Wasn't
though?
it like the one of the robot some robot character?
It wasn't Ben Glenroy though.
It was.
I don't know the character though he was playing.
It was either the snake or some.
Nah, it wasn't
why
the
I'm
snake.
remembering a drawing with him looking like he was like discount Iron Man.
No,
Idea.
it was actually in a box. It was actually a doll in a box.
Yeah, the doll in the box. That's what I'm thinking of.
I'll give it up. It was the Ben.
Oh.
Phantom got it. Was
Could
Ben
have been the
Gilroy, so we can
freaking
give it up.
Funko though. That's a
What'd he
shit,
say?
man.
Not a Funko. It was it was awesome. It was a Ben Gilroy bar bat mitzvah DJ doll with a limbo pole.
Okay,
and
yeah.
tube.
I would not have been able to guess that at all.
I was cracking up. I was dying. Oh, but that's going to do it for us. I absolutely love this one. It was absolutely Uma all along, and they're going to bring it home and show you in the next couple
It was
episodes.
not Uma!
It was
Free Uma!
Uma. So that's going to do it for us. We're going to be back on Thursday talking about the new Ahsoka series, so be ready for that one. Get ready to watch that one tomorrow, and yeah, we'll be back up with Only Murders in the Building next Tuesday night. So if everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here. Until we see you on Thursday, be easy, everybody.